purchase cost of the equipment that I have on the other sheet. Make sure that I fix that one because I'm going to copy that formula. So these are the depreciation costs for all of the years, right? And that's sales. We just calculated that to be 12.6 million. I'm going to use a different color for that. Oh. Let's copy and paste. Net costs. $4.9. Let me use a different shade. How about something like that? Come on. Then I can calculate net income. Net sales minus net costs minus depreciation times 1 minus the tax rate we have here. And I'll make that thing red. Come on. Was? Oh. I didn't make the tax rate constant or fixed. And all I have to do is calculate my OCF. Add to net income, depreciation. All right. So we got our OCF. Remember, we already had, let me delete this. We already have our NCS numbers. Let me use a different color for this. Hot pink. Oh, let me add a row. So I have year 0. Obviously, OCF is 0 in year 0. Our net capital spending was 27.5. And in year 5, come on, negative 15,556. change in net working capital. And I'm going to go fancy on you and make the first letter Greek. Two and two. And finally, cash flow from assets. OCF minus net capital spending minus change in net working capital. Of course, I need to put minus instead of equal sign. Carry them over. Those are our cash flows. Given those cash flows, we can use our template. Where art thou? Just here. I mean, I can also do it with a formula, but I'm just going to use the template. Well, cost of project is the year zero cash flow from assets. So 29.5. I'm going to get rid of the last three digits. Discount rate, we assume 12%. Life of project, 5 years. Let's not worry about that. And cash flows are these. Just the values. Okay, let's. Voila, that's your NPV. As the green check mark shows, it is actually positive. In fact, it is more than 5% of the cost of the project. So you accept the project. You know, you can look at IRR and other stuff. That's your business. Or if you wanted to calculate the NPV directly here, the way you would calculate NPV, use the NPV function, which actually calculates the present value of the future cash flows, which means 12% is the discount rate on cash flows, minus the cost or plus the year zero cash flow. Obviously, you get the same number. If you want to do the IRR, just use the IRR function for all of them and convert it into percentage. Okay. That's how we would estimate the cash flows, and given the cost of capital, we make a decision. Now, how do we analyze such a project? Do you simply stop that you have a positive NPV, you accept negative NPV, you don't? Well, not necessarily the case. First and foremost, you need to think about, we're not going to make any calculations for these, but there are what we call managerial options. remember we used a number for number of units sold, right? Almost always those numbers are forecasts. We're basically saying, okay, we think we can sell 1 million. But sometimes, about a year into project, you're going to realize, oh, things are not as good as we think they would be. For example, if the sales are 20% less, let's see what would that make. That would mean $2 million a year. No, not 2 million. 200,000 units. We're selling it at 12. So that would be $2.4 million less, right? Where is my thing? So if I reduce the net sales by $2.4 million a year, they would be, where's my keyboard? 200. And immediately projects becomes negative net present value. You know, there is variation on those forecasts. So on the low end, I may be losing money. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, let's say, the actual number of net sales that we forecasted was 10.2, right? And you realize that it was going to be only $8 million. What are you going to do when it's $8 million? When the sales are less than expected? You probably are going to wrap the project up that year. Okay? That means you're not going to lose money on the years 2, 3, 4, 5. You will also salvage your equipment earlier, so you will get more money in, you'll get that money earlier, and you'll get the value of the land earlier as well. So you have what we call option to abandon. Such options have value because if you abandon the project, you're not going to have those, you may not have negative net present value. We actually cover these in Finance 301, you know, option to abandon, option to expand. You also have option to expand. If you see that the project was a lot better than, sales were a lot better than you expected,